From the moment her name was first spoken aloud, the world paid attention. Blue Ivy Carter, born January 7, 2012, wasn't just another child. She was born to two of the most iconic figures in music, Beyoncé Knowles Carter and Sean Jay-Z Carter. The day she arrived, she instantly became one of the most talked about children in modern culture. The headlines poured in, the celebrations rang across social media, and the whispers began. Who would Blue Ivy grow up to be? Would she inherit her parents' artistic gifts, or would she carve out her own entirely different identity? What's striking is how quickly those questions started to find answers. In just a few years, Blue Ivy went from a baby shielded from the chaos of cameras to an award-winning artist in her own right. And even as a child, she has already left her fingerprints on music, fashion, and cultural history. Hers is not just a story of being born into fame. It's about learning to walk through that fame with grace, grounding, and the beginnings of personal power. Her birth was not only a moment for her family, but a cultural phenomenon. Jay-Z expressed his overwhelming joy through music almost immediately, releasing the song Glory that featured the newborn's cries and cooing. In that one moment, Blue Ivy became the youngest person to ever appear on a Billboard chart. For her father, the song was a way to celebrate his daughter, but for the world, it was an introduction to the idea that this child would always carry a certain historical weight. She wasn't just Beyoncé and Jay-Z's daughter. She was someone who, even in infancy, was already a part of the creative legacy they had built. As she grew, fans watched her take her earliest steps into public life. Sitting courtside at NBA games with her parents, dressed in stylish yet age-appropriate outfits, Blue Ivy caught attention not because she sought it, but because her presence carried energy. Whether it was the way she interacted with her parents or the confidence with which she carried herself at such a young age, people noticed. She wasn't shy or intimidated. Instead, she looked comfortable, like she belonged in spaces of grandeur and importance without losing her childlike joy. The balance Beyoncé and Jay-Z struck for her upbringing has always been important to note. On one hand, they are two of the most public figures in the world. On the other, they've been deliberate about protecting their children's privacy. Blue Ivy wasn't paraded in front of cameras or used as a prop for publicity. Instead, her appearances were intentional, thoughtful, and often tied to creative expression. This approach allowed her to slowly ease into the public eye in a way that felt natural rather than forced. One of the first moments where her voice truly became her own came in 2019, with the release of The Lion King, The Gift. Beyoncé curated the soundtrack, and among its many standout songs was Brown Skin Girl. The song, which celebrated the beauty of black and brown girls, opened with the soft and sweet voice of Blue Ivy Carter. Her vocals weren't just a background note. They were the foundation of the track's message. It was a reminder that this anthem wasn't only for women of Beyoncé's generation, but for young girls too. The moment was powerful, a child lending her voice to uplift millions of children like her. Brown Skin Girl became more than a song. It was a movement. Its lyrics and imagery celebrated natural beauty, heritage, and pride. When the music video was released, it resonated across the globe, winning awards and sparking conversations. For her part, Blue Ivy won a Grammy Award for her contributions, making her one of the youngest Grammy winners in history. She also won a BET Award, becoming the youngest recipient of that honor as well. These achievements weren't simply symbolic. They underscored her growing influence in spaces where legacy and representation matter deeply. But perhaps even more impressive than the accolades is how she carried herself through these milestones. At award shows, she displayed poise beyond her years, sometimes even playfully reminding her parents of proper etiquette, like shushing them during speeches or gently commanding attention with her presence. Those small moments became viral because they showcased a young girl with confidence, maturity, and charm, all while still very much being a child. Fashion, too, became a part of her story. From red carpets to basketball arenas, Blue Ivy's style choices have sparked headlines and inspired countless young fans. Designers recognized her influence, with outfits she wore often selling out or being widely discussed online. Unlike many children of celebrities, she didn't appear as if she was dressed to impress for the cameras. Instead, her looks reflected a blend of youthful innocence and undeniable sophistication. a reflection of the unique space she occupies as both a child and an emerging cultural icon. Yet behind all the fame, awards, and fashion moments, there's also the family life that has grounded her. Beyoncé and Jay-Z have been vocal about raising their children with humility. In interviews, they've spoken about teaching Blue Ivy the importance of hard work, respect, and knowing her worth beyond material things. For them, success is not just about wealth or fame, it's about character. That foundation has been crucial in shaping who Blue Ivy is becoming. Her journey also represents something much larger than herself. For millions of young Black girls, Blue Ivy is a symbol of possibility. She stands as proof that their voices matter, that their beauty should be celebrated, and that their presence is powerful. When she stood beside her mother during performances, when her voice rang out in Brown Skin Girl, and when she walked confidently across stages and carpets, she sent a message that was both personal and universal. Representation matters, and through her presence, young girls saw themselves reflected in spaces of greatness. Culturally, Blue Ivy has been at the center of conversations about legacy. What does it mean to be the child of two of the most influential artists of the last half-century? The expectations are immense, but what's beautiful about her story so far is that she isn't just living in the shadows of her parents. She's beginning to create her own light. She is not Beyoncé. She is not Jay-Z. She is Blue Ivy. And slowly, she's showing the world what that means. Looking ahead, her potential is limitless. Whether she chooses to follow in her parents' footsteps musically, pursue acting, dive into business, or take an entirely different path, the foundation is there. More importantly, she has already proven that she doesn't need to be anyone other than herself to succeed. She has the talent, the confidence, and the platform to become anything she dreams of. In many ways, Blue Ivy Carter's story is about the power of legacy. It's about what happens when greatness creates space for the next generation to thrive. It's about how representation and visibility can inspire millions, even when the person at the center of it all is still so young. But it's also a reminder that the story of Blue Ivy isn't just about who her parents are. It's about who she is becoming, step by step, moment by moment, with the world watching. And so, as we look at her journey so far, we can only imagine what the future holds. From that very first cry recorded on her father's song, to the Grammy-winning artist lending her voice to empower others, Blue Ivy Carter has already made history. And yet, she is only at the beginning of her journey. This is more than a story of celebrity. It's a story of growth, of legacy, of the spark of individuality blooming in the midst of global attention. Blue Ivy has reminded us that even the youngest voices can carry profound meaning, and even the smallest presences can leave a monumental impact. Thank you for joining us as we reflect on the life and rising legacy of Blue Ivy Carter. If her story moved you, if it reminded you of the importance of celebrating the next generation and the voices that inspire us, then don't let it end here. Like this video if her journey inspired you, share it with someone who believes in the power of representation, and subscribe so you never miss a chance to celebrate stories like this. Because what we are witnessing in Blue Ivy is not just the growth of a child, it's the unfolding of a legacy.